Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm here inside and I want to talk about footwear, something that I wish I would have known at least 10 years ago. So I'm just getting ready to go to the cabin and I was just getting my shoes ready and I thought, yes, when I got my hikers out, I thought I need to tell you guys about this. I've had a heck of a time over my lifetime trying to find hiking shoes and runners that do not hurt my feet. Footwear is so important out in the woods. You know, you want something to protect the bottoms of your feet and to give you a little bit of ankle stability because you really don't want to get an injury out there that could be catastrophic. So today I want to talk about different lacing techniques that you can use to make your experience in your hikers a lot better. So let's get right to it. So my problem with hikers is I can never find a comfortable one. I have a very high instep and I also have narrow foot and I have bony little ankles. And so hikers were always incredibly painful for me. So I wish I'd learned about different lacing techniques earlier on in my outdoor adventures so that I would have had more comfort in past years. You know, it took me forever to find a couple of hikers that I could tolerate and to tolerate the break-in period. So let's talk about different lacing techniques right now and different kinds of shoes. So these are my my Solomon trail runners. I pretty much have 3 pairs of these I've had over the years, and they have been, you know, really awesome for you know, summertime use. These ones have sort of a speed lacing system, and they're pretty good for my high instep. So these ones I haven't really had to modify too much, but the hikers definitely I've had a lot of struggle to find ones that have worked for me. So my ankles end up being super painful in hikers typically, especially in and around the ankle area because my ankles are very pointy and bony. So I can't tell you how many hikers I've purchased, tried to get through the wear-in period, and have had to take them back because I've been in a lot of pain. The hikers that I found the best over the years in terms of comfort level and extra padding around the ankle have been these sort of old school Wind River hikers. These are from Mark's Work Warehouse. So these are kind of like my summer and spring and fall hikers. Getting into the winter months, these are my 3M insulated Solomon hikers, and they're waterproof. So they're a waterproof boot, which is really awesome. These I've had, like, they were weather resistant, but I had to spray them with a silicone spray. These ones are completely waterproof, which is lovely. So, you know, I've had these ones over a year now, maybe a year and a half. And these ones I've had, I think, about 3 to 4 years. So they're starting to wear a little bit, but they're quite comfortable. And the reason why both of these tend to be quite comfortable is they have a fair bit of padding for me in the ankle. So these ones have a lot of different flexibility with the lacing. These ones do as well, not like these ones that have the speed lace ups. So let's talk about different lacing techniques that will help you based on some of the issues you're having with your feet, because you don't want to have you know, sore spots or tight spots or loose spots, because you can end up with blisters, just, you know, having a really terrible experience outside, and foot infections, which, you know, if you're out there for long periods of time, you know, you trekking on your winter hikes or, you know, summer backpacking trips, you know, you don't want to have nasty infections on your feet because that's really going to shorten your trip and you're going to be pretty sick. So let's start with my particular issue, which was pain around the ankle. So here are my Solomon winter hikers, and what I would typically do whenever I bought a new hiker was I would lace them this way. So I'd lace them all crisscross all the way up to the top, which I typically don't have any issues here myself around my instep or the toe box. So I would do it nice and tight. And I would also do it really tight all the way up to the top, like right along the sort of speed lacing system right here. So they'd be really tight. I would kind of just ratchet it right down so it was extremely tight in and around my ankle. And over time, I would get a lot of pain and rubbing right here on the outside of my foot, just the way I walk. So what was a life changer for me and a game changer was actually lacing them differently. So let's show you how I lace them up. So we'll start with the boot like this. I don't have any issues around here, so I'm just going to leave them like that. But what I would do instead is I would cross them over and I would skip this part right here and I would just do the top part. And then I would tie them up as per usual right here at the top. And you can see I would not put the lace through this part. So this gave me a lot of flexibility and looseness right in here. So you can see just the same on the other side as well. So that made all the difference in the world. Another way you can do it as well is just, if you really don't want anything super tight up here, is just to kind of go around the top like that, and just tie the top of your ankle in, but don't tie really tightly around the this area right here. So this gives you a lot of more laxity up in here if you have some sensitivities in this part of your foot or in the ankle. Now keep in mind, when you are lacing your boots like this, you will lose some stability in your ankle. It's going to be a little bit looser in there, so you're always, you could potentially open yourself up to twisting an ankle or something like that. Although I do find these boots pretty solid all the way up. I mean, they're not like a really rigid mountaineering hiker, but these are pretty good. But just know that with different lacing patterns, you may sacrifice a little bit of foot stability there. So that's what I did for the ankle area. Let's talk about some other tricky spots that may be uncomfortable for some people. One of the other common issues is blistering around the ankle area due to high motion. Your foot is slipping back and forth in the shoe at the heel, and so you're ending up with a lot of pain and rubbing and blisters on the back of your ankle right there. So what that means is that you actually need a little bit more tightness, if you can tolerate it, to anchor your heel down in your shoe. So let's talk about how we achieve that. So what you want to do is create a really tight lacing system right up in here, so that your ankle is tight and it's pushed down in the bottom of the boot, so you're not slipping forward, getting that heel slip in there. So let's talk about how we achieve that security. So what we can do, there's a couple of different ways to do this, but one it's recommended is doing a surgeon's knot. So instead of doing just like one throw like that, you really want to anchor this down so it doesn't undo on you when you're hiking. So you just want to go through a couple of times with your shoelace. So you just got a bit bigger throw there. You're going to want to tighten that right down. So that's pretty good. And then you can kind of just go up and do this all the way up, like so. Do another one, just like that. And that, see, that's not even letting go on me here. It's pretty good. And then, yeah, if you really wanted to do it tight, you go up to the top here as well. Do another one of those little throws, and you just tighten that right down. Like, look how tight that is in the ankle. So do it to your comfort level, obviously, but that is going to give you a lot of security here. And then you can kind of do different tensions. So here it's not as tight. Like if you have a sensitive instep, you don't have to do it as tight, but you can tighten down this ankle so that your foot is not sliding back and forth. Let's look at another method on securing your heel. Okay, so another way to do this, again, you're just going to do your throw right here. And, maybe you want this part pretty tight as well. You've got a narrow foot, so I'm just going to tighten that down. Okay, so that's pretty tight, and we want to secure that. We've got our little surgeon's throw there, the double throw. So that's going to tighten that down, secure your foot. And then what you want to do is just go up this way, like that. And you can see right there. And then what we're going to do is just go through here. And this one is going to go through here. You're going to tighten that right down. And you want to do your surgeon's double throw here. And we're going to tighten this right down. Boom. Look at that. So that is pretty intense there. So as you can see, this is the pattern here on the side. You just go up through here, and then it kind of crosses over like I did before. If you need to replay this, go ahead, do that. But this is how you create a really solid anchor for your heel. Like, you don't want it probably that tight, but of course you're gonna have your foot in here and you do this to your comfort level, but this is really gonna anchor that heel down and help prevent blisters at the heel and that motion. For the next one, what we're going to talk about is a bit of sensitivity in the high arch. So you guys know I have high arches. It doesn't really cause too much of an issue in these boots, but some folks may not want to have all the pressure on their arch. So what we're going to do is just do a different lacing pattern for that. I'm just going to skip some loops of the boot here when we're doing our lacing so that we don't put too much pressure on the arch. So I think what we'll do is we'll just take this out. And typically where we get a lot of arch pain is kind of up in here. So what you want to do, instead of crossing over at this spot, as you can see there, like we normally would lace, we're just going to go up straight through this spot right here, like that. And we're going to do that on the other side as well. So we'll go up through here. Perfect. So that leaves a little bit, and then you can go, like, say for example, a little bit higher up. If you want to leave the really top part free, just do your little double throw here. Surgeon's throw. And then you can tie here like that. And you can see there that we have this part right here, not as, we're not cranking down on that spot. So if you got a sensitive spot on the top of your arch, this will secure your ankle, it will secure the toe box area, but it's going to free up your arch a little bit so you're not in a lot of pain and not getting any friction rubs there. So some of you may have discomfort up here at the toe box, a little bit lower down the foot, and you can use the same principles, basically going, just skipping however many loops you need to skip to free up that area, a little bit less tension on that area. So we just go across like that, and again, cross over like that. So there we go, and then we can kind of just lace as per usual, and your toe box is nice and comfortable, so you don't have any pressures there. Or if, say you get a lot of swelling in your feet after hiking, there's a sensitive spot, you can just kind of lace it a little bit differently there. So we're going to just do the regular crossing over up here. And we'll just tie that up. And there we go. So now we have a little bit of give in the lower part of the foot near the toe box. So that should make your toes a lot more comfortable. Now, if you have narrow feet, you probably want to keep doing this sort of crossing over pattern because you can really tighten down on a boot if it's a little bit too wide for you. If you have wide feet, what you can do, you don't have to do this sort of crisscross pattern. There's also other ways to do your lacing. So for example, you may want to lace your boots kind of going across like this. It's a little bit trickier with this brand of shoe, but there is a little bit of space here for your lace. Is to kind of go up this way and just sort of cross it over like that. So you kind of have a pattern that kind of goes across like so. So you get a little bit more give there in your instep. So it's not as wide, and then you can kind of lace as you wish towards the ankle, but you can kind of go across this way. If you have wider feet, I find it much more comfortable. Of course, another really important aspect of hiking is appropriate socks for your boots. My favorite are breathable, natural fabrics like cotton or wool. And I always have a pair of my wool socks around. I just love them. They're really good. They don't retain a lot of odor. They're very breathable. And a nice thick sock like this is great, for my Solomon winter hikers because, it's good padding and super warm and my feet don't get cold. So I really like those. I also have lighter wool socks as well for my summer hikers, so not as thick obviously, and they are a lifesaver, a game changer. So those are great. So another thing you guys should have in your kit is this Moleskin. It's a natural cotton fabric that you can put over a blister. So this stuff right here, it's adhesive on one side and it's nice and soft on the other side. You can see a little hole in there. Your blister is meant to sit in the center so that basically you can kind of stick this to your skin, and the blister, the little dome of your blister shouldn't be elevated above the hole, or obviously the top's going to come off and get infected. So this is kind of padding around your little blisters. God forbid they happen, but they do regardless of what you do sometimes. So good to have this stuff in your kit. If you find that your blister is taller than this Moleskin, you can get some, I think Dr. Scholl's has it where it's sort of padded a little bit thicker with the holes cut out, and you can enlarge them if you need to and just stick it to your skin. You can also stick some of this stuff to the inside of the boot if there is a seam that is bothering you in particular, and that's quite common, in the very beginning of breaking in shoes. Sometimes there's a manufacturing seam that's just a little bit rough, or right here where the tongue sort of meets the boot. Sometimes you get a bit of friction rub, so you can kind of stick something inside the shoe until you help break it in. So there's really no escaping the break-in period, but you can make it a lot more comfortable with things like this Moleskin and lacing your shoes properly based on your foot type and your previous sensitivities. So I hope this video has helped you guys out. I wish I would have known this stuff, like I said, 10 years ago. I just went through countless hikers where I tried to put them through the break-in period, but I just couldn't take it anymore. So the key is finding a boot that fits your foot initially, and that you get it fit with one of the staff members at an outdoor store to help you out that's really experienced. But also know that you can do different lacing techniques, because there's no such thing as like a custom boot unless you get that made for you. That's like a ton of money, and it's really hard to get a foot that's exactly for your foot, and we quite often are asymmetrical with our feet. So this is where the lacing of the shoes in a different way can really help you out. So let me know down below in the comments if you guys have any questions or concerns regarding hiking and hiking boots, or any thoughts you guys may have on this issue. If you've had issues with hiking boots before, please let me know. I'm not alone. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.